Welcome to Self-Perfected.
What's up,
Sweet.
people? Hey,
Oh,
we're live.
back with another installment.
We're always alive. Live.
So the big news
everyone
that's
just
happened
needs to be
recently,
alive.
you guys heard
What's
What's that?
the huge
Oh,
thing that happened in the world.
Ari joined the podcast. Is that the
Oh,
big news?
well, that was second. That was
Ah.
in my mind. No, that was Kanye's album coming out.
Ooh,
Mitch, have you heard of this?
Everybody's forgotten about Israel and Palestine. Everyone's forgotten about Ukraine because they're just waiting for that Kanye album.
Actually, all that stuff. You know how Kanye does like a lot of controversial
Oh.
stuff before his albums drop.
Yeah.
That's
I just
what a lot of
realized-
that stuff was for.
Oh, he was like, I don't need to say anything. It's already doing it. But actually, it's a good point. The whole Israel Palestine. He was like, everybody's thinking about me now. Might as well release an album. Everyone's like, I wonder what Kanye West thinks about all this. I know why he's friends with Elon Musk now. I just realized because he likes to change the names of things that people refuse to then refer to it as.
Okay. The X thing.
Yeah, and like Kanye West, like no one calls him Ye.
True. Yeah.
That's like what they have in common. They're like, I think this name's cool now, and everyone's like, I'm still calling you the old name.
Did you see when on that hangout or that spaces that Elon Musk and Alex Jones did? I don't know why I was going to call him Alex Weber. I don't even know where that name came from. Alex Weber, that's his new name. Did you see that spaces that Alex Weber and Elon Musk did together? And then Elon Musk was like, there's like some little kid like playing around in the background. And he's like, oh, that's little X.
I didn't catch that part. I wonder if that was I did. Actually, I think I did, but I didn't catch that. But that's what he was saying because I did hear that.
Thought it was hilarious.
I still can't get my final take on Elon. Like you like Dr. Shiva is like saying he's a fucking deep state puppet, and then you got other people are like, yeah, he's like a freedom fighter. So I'm like, I think it's cool that they have X, and I think he seems to be a proponent of free speech, but we'll see.
Well, I think the whole this person's a deep state puppet thing is just paranoia because no person is a deep state puppet. Like, and everyone.
Wait a minute.
You mean Joe Biden's not a deep state puppet?
You mean to tell me Mitch McConnell is not a deep state puppet? Hold on. Nancy Pelosi is not a deep state. Have you seen her? She's literally a puppet.
Nikki Haley.
Like, somebody sticks their hand up her butthole and just moves her around.
You're telling me Justin Trudeau is not a deep state puppet?
No.
You're wrong, bro. You're just wrong. You don't understand.
Okay.
Oh, let's just look at it for a moment. Let's say somebody says somebody's a deep state puppet. Then what does that imply? Like, look at all the implications of that. It implies that that person's just being controlled by somebody else.
Yeah.
Right. It's like a point of blame, and it's just not realistic. Like,
wait. Those are all the things I'm trying to say.
Right.
They're controlled by somebody else. I'm blaming them for what's going on in the world.
Right. I'm just saying it's not that I'm not saying there isn't a deep state, because if you look at the definition of what that means, depending on what you define it as, right? But
did you watch that one guy? I forget his real name, but the American shaman, as he goes by. Did you watch
the QAnon shaman guy? Yeah. I don't know if I think that out, but that was really good.
I was thoroughly impressed by that guy.
It shows you how media can manipulate your perception of something.
Well, I mean, he had already done a pretty good job by wearing those coyote skins. So,
but then he explained it though.
He did.
Pretty cool explanation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I like agree. It's just there's a point to what he was doing rather than what you would think is just some.
I thought he was just like some drunk dude wearing a freaking buffalo hat. And like,
this silly, right? Not like that there was something like. It's funny because the left would totally shit on that guy, but it's like, but what about when a native person does it?
Right.
oh no, then it's serious and like, oh, it's their culture and everything. And it's like, I mean,
Isn't
that's
he
kind
actually native? I think he's like actually native. That's what I
I
gather.
think
maybe, yeah, I don't know.
I
They're
think
like
that's
shit
just
talking
cultural
their own cause. They're trying to
appropriation.
protect.
It's
Yeah.
Mitchell, I think it's just cultural appropriation. I think that's what happened.
Does it count as cultural appropriation if you're part of the culture?
So the guy
Yeah.
basically considers himself a shaman, and he's like there. He was there to like make sure nothing happened bad,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
there to fuck around,
And
And
he did have
now,
evidence to
well,
support
all of
that.
those videos we saw with him being escorted around, it kind of makes sense. Like, oh, that makes sense what was going on there because it didn't make sense before. Because they're like, see, it was an inside job. They were escorting them around, and it's like actually he was trying to help, And then did you guys watch the video of I sent
Yeah.
for the guy? The guy was the chief of police for
Yeah.
Capitol
That
Police.
was.
Yes,
Did that
that was
blow your fucking
interesting.
mind?
Yes.
I kind of
Yeah.
had a suspicion that's what it was, but it was interesting to hear actually from the guy's mouth of like what happened to play by play.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you dismiss that? I mean, I know how the media does it. I mean, that's because it's all that part of the game, but that guy was the chief of Capitol Police on the day of. Like, this is like, oh, now he's just a crackpot. It's like, suddenly he's just a crackpot. Like, come on. Like, but he was entrusted with that position, whatever.
I thought what was really interesting was they fired him, elevated the intelligence chief,
even though they said it was
and
an failure.
yeah, and they said it was an intelligence failure, but they're like, now you should be chief of police. And it's like, wait, what? And then when she got dismissed from her job, which I think she got like some special leave or whatever, then she became chief of police for the University of, I don't know, for Berkeley. For Berkeley, that's what
I
it
don't know
was.
if it was for the
UCLA.
university or just for the city.
Oh, okay.
I
I thought it
think
was for the
He said
university.
Berkeley, but I don't know if
Yeah,
he.
the city.
I think he just said Berkeley,
Oh, okay.
which will
Still,
make more sense even.
yeah. It's
Nancy
like,
Pelosi's district, right? So I was like,
yeah.
well, according apparently, I didn't check it out. Yeah, that's really fascinating when you look at how that whole game is played, and then people want to act like, oh, you should, it's like they'll try to use morality and like as like some kind of point, and it's like,
You know what I found interesting?
Yeah,
I wanted to send that interview to someone, and then I was like, oh, but they're probably just going to dismiss it because it's Tucker speaking about it, right? And I was like, huh, that's interesting though, because if you just look up all these things, they're factually correct. Like so why should it matter who's saying it if it's actually
It just shows the
correct?
extent of the brainwashing is like you can just see an image such as Tucker Carlson's face and immediately go into one polarity. And it's both ways, right? It's some people go, oh, it's Tucker, I can't believe it. Other people go, oh, it's Tucker, it must be real, without
Yeah.
discerning. But it's
Yeah.
like the real answer is you got to reprogram yourself. You got to actually get involved with this community so you can reprogram yourself and look at every reaction to it.
yeah. If you're just accepting like how you feel about it, that's not best.
I was watching this video. Oh, sorry, I cut you off. What'd you say?
I was just saying, then you're going with your bias.
Yes. Yeah. I was watching this video because when we were talking about cultural appropriation, it made me think of this. And there's this video, it's just like some video that got recommended to me, but it was like the world isn't ready for Gen Alpha, I think was the title of it.
Yeah,
right?
I've seen that.
You saw it? And,
like,
and it was,
I think so, with the kids.
yeah, it was just interviewing some kids, right? And the funniest part was like he's saying to the kid, like, who's your celebrity crush or whatever, and they say like, oh, Millie Bobby Brown. Like, okay, pretend your friend is Millie Bobby Brown, how would you approach her? And the kid's like, sup blood, sup bro, sup shawty, right? And the guy's like, would you actually do that? Would that actually work? And the kid's sitting there and he goes, like, some woman walks by and he goes, sup shawty, and like he's like, she like walks off, he's like, it didn't work, and he just continues talking to the guy, and the guy like kind of like, he's an older guy, he's laughing at the kid who's like 13 years old, 12 years old or whatever. And then somebody else walks by and then he does the same thing, and then he gets this one to come by and he's like, hey, do I got Riz? And she's like, I how old are you? Like, he's like 13. He's like, do I got Riz though? And she's like, I guess. He's like, oh. It is just so funny to me, like the confidence of him to just like, but it didn't work.
It's funny because they're trying to make it like that's Gen Z, but it's actually just a kid with charisma.
Right.
Yes, he
And
has the Gen Z vocabulary, but it's not like every kid in Gen Z is like or
I
alpha
think
or
he's
Oh,
whatever.
very
it,
alpha.
it's
Yeah.
so crazy. The other day we were around these just individuals. I'll keep them nameless, but there was a I don't know how old the kid was. He's a boy, 10 years old ish. And you could tell he had just been playing on video games like all day. Came upstairs, his parents are like, hey, come say hi to Jess and Mitch, and he would just like it was like it wasn't even coherent words he put together. Like it was really, really wild. And this is like someone who Jess has known. Like she used to babysit him when he was a
What
kid,
was he like? Was he
and
like
he
just
like didn't even recognize Jess. It was like he was a total zombie. It was crazy. Yeah,
Mm.
it was like I don't even know. He was like saying some like meme reference to something, and there's like other conversations going on. So it's like, okay, I'll play it off as maybe he didn't understand something. But then I was driving home with Jess, and I was like, I think that kid's like a straight up zombie. Like that was really really wild. And then you got this bullshit. Cameron, I don't know if you watched this, but I think we talked about this on that Friday call. That new Netflix movie, Leave the
Oh
World Behind.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
well, I happened to watch a Patrick Bet
TBD.
and a Tim
Oh yeah,
whole thing
yeah,
about all of it. So I'm very much aware of all that stuff about it. Yeah. Leave them behind. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, leave
yeah,
the world
yeah,
behind.
Leave the world behind. Yeah.
something like that. But it's
Yeah.
like I can see how some people will be like, "Oh my God, this is crazy." Other people go, "Oh, fuck them for making that movie." Either way, it's the same thing. It's like, no, we just got to get better. It's like that's why we will have self-perfected media or whatever we call it. It's like us also pushing out the content because that's how the system is working right now. Is like consistently impulsing people. That's what's required. So for the people listening to this, like I know you enjoy this Sunday morning entertainment, but it's also like a call to action of hey, get fucking better at talking to people. Otherwise Obama's gonna make another. There's another movie called Civil War coming out in 2024 or something. Have you seen this one too?
Yeah. Which is pretty crazy because, right before 9/11 happened, they released Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
No joke.
It's so funny. I just watched this little clip of Obama and Biden, and it was like it's so interesting because Biden's on his phone and he's
Barack
like
Biden.
Barack Biden,
Barack
but like
Obama.
he's like reading like apparently a tweet or something from his phone, and he's like, hey Biden, is Obamacare still a thing? And then Obama's there, and Obama's like, heck yeah, it's still a thing. And they're like, piling around, and they're so cool or whatever. And then it ends with like, like they're laughing, and like it ends with Biden saying it's a BFD, and then like Obama's like, oh, pats him on the shoulder or whatever. And it's so contrived, right? You look in the comments, the top comments are you tone deaf? End your ceaseless wars, like cease fire. But Obama,
He's
every
fired.
time you associate with this guy, it is a genocide. Like all the comments, like you read down like 20, 40 comments, it's just all that. I'm like, holy crap. And it's so interesting because it's like, they put that together, like just that imagery together to like make you feel like, oh, he's just a normal person again, he's cool. And like election cycles coming up, dude, we have to talk about that. We have to talk
Oh,
about
the
that.
fucking Klaus Schwab predictive elections.
I don't know about the Klaus Schwab stuff, but I do
It's
know.
Klaus Schwab.
Yeah, who's that guy? You mean
That was my Bill Maher impression.
Santa Claus? Santa Claus. That's you're saying it wrong, or maybe you're saying the Dutch version of it. I don't know.
Santa Claus. Schwab. Schwabi Klaus.
Robbie Klaus. um, but yeah,
You will
no,
be coal in your stocking and you will be happy.
you will get coal in your stocking, and you will be
But you may
happy.
not burn it for warmth. That is illegal. You may
Because
eat it because it is made from crickets. It is cricket coal.
we deprived you of coal for so long. You'll be happy to get coal.
You'll be happy for your coal. No warmth.
Seriously though, I'm happy to get coal.
Rub the cricket's legs together to start a fire, but not a coal burning fire.
No.
A solar powered fire. You may only have solar powered fires.
You must
Yeah.
be banished to the cobalt mines and go fucking 14 hours a
Yes.
day.
Okay, so tell me about your Klaus Schwab prediction
Well,
thing.
no, so okay, I didn't know if Davos was happening right now because I started like going back into seeing like, okay, what's the newest stuff they're
So
pushing?
you're
And
like, where's my invitation? What the hell?
there's the Cyber Polygon is like their version of Event 201. If you don't know what Event 201 is, you got to look that shit up. It happened before COVID. They literally ran a whole test mock uh, simulation of what would happen if a coronavirus had an outbreak before COVID happened.
It's like, you
Now
know how
that's
people like Magnus Carlsen prepare for like a chess tournament? Like they do a bunch of games and puzzles and practice and stuff. Like, because you're like, why would they tell everybody? It's like, because vampires have to ask permission to enter your house. Okay. I mean, it's like, that's part of the rules, right? Of this fantasy novel we're living in.
And it's so interesting. I'm okay. I want to be clear. I don't think you should go watch every movie or look at every pop culture reference or everything. But it's very interesting how prior to 9/11 they put out that movie. I forgot what it's called again. Pearl Harbor. Thank you. And then they also did on the X-Files. Apparently, there was an episode of like two planes or a remote control plane rather crashing into the World Trade Center.
It was a spinoff. Yeah. It was like it was the spinoff for the X. It was the guy who. Well, anyways, I
Okay.
kind of grew up like watching X Files. So, but yeah,
Okay, so
sort of
spinoff
an
for the
X-Files
X-Files.
nerd. Yeah.
Thanks. I didn't know. I didn't watch it.
Either
I
way,
saw like
it was
I saw like
right
3
before it
episodes
happened.
of X-Files. Was X-Files the
It
that
was
the
called
one where
Smoking Gun, I think, because that was the name of like. It's a whole thing. It's part of the
okay.
X Files lore.
Was
sounds like a
X-Files
smoking gun to
the
me.
one where they had like the guy without the belly button? Is that one? Was that X-Files?
That
No,
name.
that's a Superman one. Small town
Superman. No,
without a belly
no.
button. Yeah.
He didn't have oh, okay.
Well,
Never mind.
okay. Keep in mind, I've never watched any of these shows.
Why would he have
The only
one?
show I've ever watched is The Office. So
He was born to some parents, maybe not on Earth, but on whatever that planet was.
Crypto
Krypton.
Cryptonomicon.
Kryptonomicon.
cryptocurrency, predictive programming for cryptocurrency. Damn, and for the superhero complex.
Oh, listen. The cryptocurrency is actually your kryptonite. Whoa.
Yo, that's genius. Spelled
Guys.
language of creation.
They played that song a lot when I was growing up. Do you remember that song?
Yeah.
Kryptonite?
Oh, that song,
yes.
I
Yeah. Like
That's
Three Doors
wow.
Down.
That got stuck in your head.
Don't even get me started with it.
I remember.
Let's get it started.
Let's get it started.
Okay, real quick, conspiracy theory on that. Was it originally "Let's Get Retarded"?
Yes,
It was. And
Okay, that's
Will
not
I
just
Am
me, like, in
and
some
Will I
fucking,
Am goes
Mandela effect, right?
Will I Am the singer goes to Davos. We need a fucking stuff. Okay.
They actually they play the "Let's Get Retarded" version there at Davos when he comes up on stage.
We're like, okay, is this one good enough? Yeah, okay, good.
Like, let's get retarded. They're like, yeah, in here.
Dude, that is so crazy. We do need, you know what we need? We need one of those like Charlie Day type fucking just connections of people that go to Davos, just like behind Mitchell. I could just see it.
Yeah,
Have you ever
that should be.
Will I Am, iRobot, Will Smith, slap.
Oh, and we talk about Will Smith on here. Dude,
Let's
and he
Get
did that
Retarded
zombie
slaps.
movie too.
This is so good.
Davos,
This is so good.
Davos is slapping the world.
Dude, okay, Mitch.
Chris Rock,
Have you ever,
Black Rock.
Cam,
He's a
have you
Black
ever,
Rock.
oh my gosh. Yes.
Getting slapped by Will Smith, Will I Am, Davos in Black Rock.
Wow. And Will Smith, he smited BlackRock. Wow.
Smith, Agent
Dude,
Smith.
this is that language of creation stuff, guys.
Agent
This
Smith.
is it. This is it. Right
Was
here.
it at? Was it at the?
Davos?
I was trying to remember the name of the award ceremony.
No, but
I don't know.
okay, Will
Golden-
Smith, Agent Smith,
Was it the
But-
Academy
Oscars.
Awards?
but
Academy Awards.
Academy?
Thanks. I don't know any of the names.
The capture of academics,
Ooh.
transgender awards. And they say that everyone's giving the participation trophies. That's why Gen Z is so fucking weak. And we're
Wow.
participating.
However, okay, I'm getting an inspired vision here. You got Will Smith, Agent Smith. Now switch it though, Kyler Smith and Latanya. Latanya gets famous. We change the system. Inspired his.
Latanya Williams.
Oh shit! Full circle.
No, I am. To Smith. Holy shit. Guys, this was real time.
This is like we're
Fucking, I
decoding.
just got goosebumps. And you know if you get goosebumps, that it's real.
You know, if
That's
you
right.
get goosebumps, you did too much ecstasy while listening to music when you're younger.
That's it. I get goosebumps all the time.
I plead the fifth.
Okay, all right. Wait, hang on. So
Beethoven's fifth.
Mitch. What?
Anytime someone says they plead the fifth, I'm saying Beethoven's fifth.
Are
you begging me to put on Beethoven's fifth?
I do love me some Beethoven.
It's music.
The other day, hey, just fun 20-second side
Beethoven
tangent.
was deaf.
Really? Oh yeah,
Apparently.
he was the deaf one.
Hey, and
how the hell did he do
Joe
that?
Biden is tone deaf.
Mm.
So, and probably Hunter's going to plead the fifth.
But I'm guessing Beethoven was like part of the system for the whole white light thing. Gives me those vibes. The music's like a little too perfect.
What is?
Beethoven's music.
Apparently he was black. I heard this thing.
Is this the new Disney movie?
No, it was part of that thing I sent you guys for that IBM Red Hat diversity presentation. I sent it a few days ago.
I didn't watch that.
It was like some leaked thing of like this hardcore like anti-white presentation at Red Hat, which is like, you know, owned by the Linux. It's like the biggest company that does Linux and all that. Which is like the last place you would think, you know, would have all that stuff.
I guess I missed that one. Wait, was it an article?
It was a video. I thought I sent it.
I missed it. No,
but
I don't think I sent that.
I did.
No, not to me.
Yeah, I did. It's right here. IBM/Red Hat whistleblower leaks internal racist anti-white presentation.
When did you send this?
What's cool is
where did you send this? To whom?
Signal. It's there.
No.
It's right after the Tucker Carlson. It's right before the shaman thing, QAnon shaman.
Okay, hang on.
DM going, yeah, with Q shaman. Okay. So there's a couple things. Sorry for the background noise. Jess is gonna grab Aristotle in a second.
LGBTQ anon.
Okay. What? Hey, maybe that's what the Q could stand for. Elon had a quote. There's like three things going on right now. Oh, Elon had a quote that said, "DEI must DIE."
DIE.
I like that one. That was cool.
Oh, I missed it.
I'm gonna have to take a
division, iniquity, and exclusion.
That's literally what it is, dude. Elon Musk was talking about that, about how like the wokeness creates more division, which is obvious, right? But also, you know, okay, you know that Jordan Peterson video you were asking about. You know what he says in it? He says that the only starvation that we have is
starvation.
No. What?
Starvation of the spirit?
No, he doesn't say that actually. He says because he says there are more broke fat people than there are broke starving people. That's what he said, and I'm guessing he means in the first world, because that's I don't think the case in third world countries. But
fact check.
Fact check. But he says the only starvation is for political reasons. The only starvation that we have is for political reasons. And I think that's like the main point that he was making in that. But I'm bringing that up because, you know, like Elon talks about like that video that you sent of him talking in Italy, where he's just talking about like, we should have a whole list of like videos that, well, actually, no, we do have a whole list. It's called Go to Cameron's Facebook page, Facebook wall, and watch all the videos. You will have to scroll. But that's good scrolling.
Not that many videos on there.
Oh, really?
Send them to people, but yeah.
Okay, go to Avery's Facebook page then, and then
that's the real gold mine. Go to Avery's.
That's it. That's it. Right. But anyway,
I didn't watch the whole thing with Elon because I was driving around doing stuff, but I listened to some of it up to the point where he was talking about how livestock is not a problem in terms of carbon dioxide and stuff. And he was saying the bigger problem is that you're just taking a bunch of carbon under the ground and converting it into the atmosphere. So that's a problem perspective.
He says it's a problem from the perspective
What
of
about
like
all the cobalt that you're taking out of the ground and turning into batteries?
don't mention that. No, but he says it's a problem
Yes.
from oh, hey Jess, how's it going?
Hey guys.
Jess, that shirt that you're wearing, Hazel was wearing that exact same shirt yesterday. You guys are like twins.
Oh, what's up?
Yeah.
Matching.
Yeah, you guys, well, matching it with a day off. When you see those stripes, what is the first thing that you think of?
A
Barcodes.
mime.
Barcodes? And what did you say, Mitch?
A mime.
A mime. Okay,
Aristotle
see,
just likes to stare at it because it's mesmerizing.
it is mesmerizing. I think mime as well.
I think
Christine
of
said,
those optical illusion books when I was
Oh,
a
like
kid.
a French mime.
They're like,
yeah,
can
like
you
a French one.
see- Only 1% of people can see the pattern in it, you know. And I see those
Magic
on
eye?
Facebook and I always comment. It's
Talking about like
like,
seeing eye, magic eye.
Magic eye.
no, you know those ones where they're like only some people can see it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
magic eye.
Only
That's-
no, he's talking
that's
about those like
fine.
memes.
That's
They're
how I
like,
prove that I'm smarter than people. I go
Oh,
in the
because
comments. I go ham in those comments. That's how I get all these haters.
you're like,
hey,
I'm
you guys-
part of the 1%.
they'll post a picture of the word Ohio and be like, only geniuses can find the word in the middle. And you're like,
Right.
and someone will like reshare it, like, I got it, you know, like, all right. And you're like,
Yeah, that should just tell you how depressed our population is, depressed mentally. Oh, dude. Oh man. I want to share this story. Can I share this story? I want to share this story. I was talking with a kid and
Just-
we were doing I'll see you just we were doing a like we were doing some like math problems, right? And this kid was like, hey, so I just want to ask, like, do you think I'm like fast at math? Do you think I'm good at it? And I'm like, well,
like, no.
yeah, that's basically what I said. I was like, you're faster than a lot of kids, I would say.
Faster than someone who's really slow.
But you're not that fast. He's like, yeah, I was thinking of like seeing if I could ask for extended time for taking tests and things like that. And I was like, and he's at okay. I forgot to mention this part. He's in one of the magnet programs. Like he's basically like the top of the school. Like you gotta like fight to like test to get into this program or whatever. And then like these are the smartest kids in the entire school, right? And he's like, yeah, I'm thinking about like asking for extended time so I can take tests. I'm like, I don't think they allow that for your program. Like you can't be in your program and then also have like extended time and things like that. He's like, no, you can. I'm like, you what? What do you mean? He's like, no, there's like three kids in each class.
Time.
I'm like, wait, what? That doesn't make sense. Like, I was like, do you know? I was like, do you know what they used to call the kids when I was growing up? The kids that were like that needed the extra time, they were really like slow. Do you know what they used to call them? And he was like, what? I was like, retarded. Like literally, what do you think retarded means? It means like, I'm like, you can't
Just
be
went full circle back to Will I Am.
Hey, which leads me to the point. I got half the conspiracy through, but then Aristotle, that kid likes to express himself, so I couldn't even make coherent thoughts. Okay.
I was
okay.
also interrupting you, and I will.
Yeah. Well, that's fine because this conspiracy theory needs to be said. It is cyber polygon. Has everyone heard of this one?
Yes. When you say everyone, you mean me and Cameron, right?
I actually have not heard that term yet.
You got
That's
it.
the first
Really?
time. Yeah.
Bullshit, Cam.
What kind of fucking
Bullshit.
conspiracy theorist are you?
We've talked about it on the podcast. It's bullshit.
No,
I'm a
I don't think we
conspiracy
talked. I
realist.
don't think we said cyber polygon.
I'm a conspiracy hypothesist, not theorist.
I was expecting a dad joke coming in there. Okay. Wait, okay. Quick tangent. Can you imagine if someone made like a funny AI version of us where it like they like fed them a bunch of podcast episodes and then it was like
Not possible.
now make make
Not
a
possible.
make some crazy
That's why
shit.
we do such low quality stuff. So it's like so hard to deep fake it.
Okay. But
It's super high quality. You're just making it easier for people to like clone your voice and shit.
So Klaus Schwab, since I remember sitting on our old house, and this is when it happened. So I think it was in 2020 or early 2021. It
You
must
say
have been.
our old house. You mean you and Klaus Schwab's old house?
Yeah, back in Germany, back in the day, back when he was much younger. You know, now
Klaus Schwab
he's
doesn't live in Germany. That's how I know you're lying.
He used to live in Germany.
Oh shit!
From Germany. He's like fucking
from-
related to the
I thought he
Nazis or
was
something.
Swiss.
He's
I
from
don't-
Germany.
he's somewhere in there. But he was talking about how there will be a pandemic of sorts that will make the COVID thing look like tiny compared to this because it could shut down power grids and everything.
Tiny.
And he said the answer to it will be a vaccine of sorts. It'll be a vaccine.
It'll
But
make
it'd
my
be-
penis look so huge.
You're never gonna get through it, Mitch. It'll make my penis look so big by comparison to COVID.
It's so fucking crazy. Okay. Something about it. We're gonna need vaccines for the computer. So it'd be like your computer would be registered that you're safe to be on the internet. This is some fucking fall shit. I bet Neil Stevenson knows about this.
Bro, okay, all right. Without spoiling it, if you have not read Fall,
The conspiracy. Oh, okay.
What are you waiting for? I've been telling you guys for years you need to read this book. Stop resisting it. Don't be one of those people who just resist reading this book.
right?
As
But
quickly as
seriously,
possible, as soon as someone recommends it, don't delay.
exactly. But seriously, just read the first 200 pages.
Oh, read the whole
and-
book,
Well, you'll read the whole book if you read the first 200 pages.
Mitch.
I've been at
What
page,
page are you on? 400.
400.
3 weeks later. What page are you on? 400. All right,
You
guys.
told me the other day I don't need to read the whole thing.
What do we remember, Drake? Remember back when you and I were kids? I know we're kind of not quite the same age, but like, what did we call people who like when you asked them what page they were on and they kept saying the same? What was the word for that? Anyway,
Slow.
Poser. It's like I'm the kid who like pretends to read sci-fi. Like back in the day when you'd be like a kid that pretended to skateboard, they were a poser.
Fucking poser.
Yeah, I'm posing as a sci-fi.
but not to sidetrack or anything, but I'm still reading it. I'm close to the end, but I keep falling asleep before I get a chance to read it because I read a different book to the kids at night, and then like
Yeah.
usually I'm falling asleep before I read more than a page on.
Wow,
What-
falling asleep.
While reading Fall. Okay. And also that analogy is made. Anyway, see, there's so many falls.
But I was gonna say I'm reading this series called Discworld by Terry Pratchett, and it's really good. So, anyways, just throwing
Don't
that
tell
out.
me you're gonna
Oh,
turn
Discworld,
on
Discworld.
flat Earth.
No,
No,
disc earth.
yeah. No, it's actually what it is. There's a giant turtle floating through space. There's 4 elephants on its back, and it's holding up a disc, and that's the world.
It's a donut.
That's the
The
premise.
world is a donut.
No, that's the premise of
How the
book.
fuck
of
did
the
the
series.
elephant?
And it's
this
like
symbolic?
fantasy style. It's pretty good. It's pretty funny. It's good.
Have you-
I don't know if I'm sold on this one yet.
Have you read what's that one book that everybody references? A Hitchhiker's Guide.
Yeah, I've read that.
All,
There's like
all
several
5?
books. But yeah,
There's 5 of
Okay.
them.
There's 5.
the
Yeah,
movies are
yeah.
pretty
How the fuck do these people come up with this?
relatively accurate.
They just lock
Okay.
themselves in a room and just like go totally into their
Well,
mind.
Stevenson just writes like 500 words a day. He said.
Oh yeah.
Also, he's like involved with so many projects that's like, oh, you're actually seeing what's coming down. You know, like at least
Like, I got this great idea. And they're like, how'd you think of that? It's like, I was meeting with Jeff Bezos yesterday.
right.
Okay. That leads me back to this one then. So I was seeing what they're talking about at Davos recently. Full circle. We got multiple. We got discs, full disc. We got Davos is happening again in January 16th through 19th or something like that. And
Are we
the
going?
most, I don't know
Your
if you
tickets yet?
you got the secret password.
You can't get tickets to Davos, but you can get tickets to the self-perfected event. Man,
Which is
Yeah,
even
Davos,
better.
you need a password.
them quick. All right.
Okay, so they Klaus Schwab is talking about how in the future
password
they
for
won't
Davos
have
is Klaus Schwab has a big penis. Sorry.
any-
Sorry.
big penetration.
Big dick
exclamation
energy.
point.
Klaus.
Big Klaus energy. Okay,
Must penetrate the cabinets.
Yes.
Actual quote.
Like quit
So he,
fucking my kitchen furniture, okay?
he's quote. I don't want to misquote him, but fuck it. Something along the lines of in
Just
the future
paraphrase.
we won't need elections because you'll just be able to predict what the people need, and then they'll be able to like have the solution. So like literally it's saying that we are going to need elections in the future.
Okay, perfect segue. Thanks, Mitch. You're done, right? You're done.
That was the point.
That took you a while to get there. But no, perfect segue, because this 2024 election, you will not need an election. You will not need to vote. Well, actually, perhaps you want to vote just to be a part of the machine. But let me tell you all the fun stuff that's coming, man.
Hold on, real quick, just as an introduction to this point, like what's crazy, that stuff you're talking about, you know, what Klaus Schwab said, this is not like some random person is saying it. It's the people that are currently making all the decisions. And it's like, well, Klaus Schwab's running the world. It's like, no, but he's got the CEO of every major fucking corporation coming to his fucking event, and they're all discussing and planning it out together right in front of your fucking face.
Right. It's like if you look up the World Economic Forum weforum.org/partners.
It's crazy. It's
You
like
can see.
when you listen to like John Taylor Gatto, for example, and he talks about, well, you know, the education system was based on blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, that sounds crazy. And it's like, well, but they wrote down in books like why they were creating it, what was their starting point, how they did it. And you're like, oh, sure they did. You know, it's literally there. And like right now with the internet, the people making all the decisions in the world are literally making videos telling you what they're going to do and what they're doing and what's happening and being planned. Like, okay, they're not the ones running the world, guys. Okay, so who is making decisions? Like, it's not Apple. Like, it's not like you have an iPhone. It's not like you have a computer running software that these people created that's like determining what you see and don't see. Oh, that's crazy. It's like, who else is fucking doing it? Like, what do you think is happening?
First off, I just want to point out that Cameron has completely rescinded his previous comment that there are no puppets being run by the deep state. He's clearly backtracking on that. No, it's okay. We're moving on.
To clarify the point, I was going to say it's just everyone acting in their self-interest. Yes, they are coordinating with each other, but it's not like one person is a puppet of somebody else. Like, everyone has agendas, and because if Joe Biden was the puppet, why is suddenly all this stuff happening with Hunter Biden and with, you know, all that stuff? Like, is he displeasing? Yeah. Like, you know, I mean, yes, they are puppets, but they're also self-interested automatons.
He said it. Yeah. He said it. They're puppets.
You look at the list of A, right? So you look up weforum.org/partners, and then you just search, and A, look, you got Amazon, you got Apple, you got Accenture, you got Alibaba, not a surprise, AstraZeneca. I mean, there's all these ones that you don't know too, but it's like Ally Bank, Allianz. They're all like, we're literally using their products all the time. But it's like, okay, so what do we do about it? So Drake, you gonna tell us what do we do
about this?
No, I'm not gonna tell us what we do about it. I'm gonna tell you how it gets worse. So
okay, fucking Tim Pool.
I'm gonna tell you what happens if we don't do anything about it.
Yeah. Let me tell you what happens if we don't do anything. Like, hold on. Let me put on my best Tim Pool hat. Well, I don't have a beanie, but
yeah, you live in Florida. You have no need for that.
Tim Pool, or what do they call it in Canada? A toque. Yeah, toque.
Christine. See God.
Christine, can you? Toque. It is a toque. Okay.
Well,
all right.
I'm pie, so.
Anyway, here's my Tim Pool. Fuck, what did he say?
Oh, it's like the French hat. I remember we looked at this up before.
Yeah. Tim Pool would say
Canadians didn't know that, and they literally all speak French. They're like, I don't know why you call it that. I'm like, don't you fucking speak French? Even the French Canadians don't know why they call it a toque.
Oh, because it's not spelled phonetically, I guess.
They're like, why do we call a hat a hat? I don't understand.
French is not really a very phonetic language, I don't think. Anyway.
Maybe it is to them, though.
I don't think so.
I think it is phonetic. It's just a different set of phonetics.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? It's like Spanish is phonetic.
They got a different phonics. They got a you know that video with that kid where he was talking about like, do I have Riz and all that, and like Shotty and blood and all that. The guy says to him, you know, some people think like that you're taking their culture, you're using their slang, you know, like the black people or like the people in the hood. And he's like, Well, they got the best slang. The hood has the best slang, right? And I was thinking about that point, and I was like, so you're appropriating their culture for using their words. Don't they fucking speak English? Like, it doesn't make sense. Anyway, I was just thinking of that because of Ebonics. Here's how the world is getting.
Don't they want to like be dominant?
Yeah, don't they
Don't
want
use
their
our
culture to
language.
spread?
Don't use our culture or our language, but also like we want your culture to stop. So
Yeah.
what culture do you want me to do? I don't know. What do I eat for breakfast? I can't have French toast. I can't have eggs. What is that one?
Benedict?
No, the one for Mexicans.
Oh, huevos rancheros.
Yes, that's a very good. That's a good breakfast.
Oh my gosh, Christine makes that every once in a while, and it's like,
Geez, Christine, appropriating culture much?
I know she's not even Mexican, just Venezuelan. It's like, come on.
Why are there so many Venezuelans in Aruba? I went to Aruba and there were so many Venezuelans there. Like, go away.
Venezuelans are everywhere except for Venezuela because they're trying to escape.
They called it the Happy Island. I was like, yeah, I'm not happy with all these Venezuelans here.
Someone argue that Christine's Mexican. She says,
That's
you know what it
somewhat
is?
especially in Texas. Well, that's
In Texas.
there's Mexicans and then there's Spanish.
What's Spanish in? Okay,
Spanish.
Spain?
They just call people Spanish people.
I know.
Really?
I know. In like Western
That's like if everybody who
states,
spoke English, you just called them an English person.
well, yeah.
You're one of the Spanish people.
I know in like I remember I went to California one time and literally like I didn't understand how at first I didn't understand how people could be so ignorant to just say anybody who speaks Spanish is Mexican until I went to California and literally everyone who spoke Spanish was Mexican. And I was like, oh, I get it. You don't know anything else.
It's
Right?
like the biggest country right next to you, and everyone's from there. So why would you?
Yeah, it makes sense. It's still ignorant, but it makes sense. What I was going to say is this. Here's how it gets worse. 2024, right? We just had all these like super computer stuff come out with AI and everything. I don't know if we mentioned this on the podcast, but there is now
AI? We might have mentioned it.
no IBM. That's what I was going to say. Did we mention that?
IBM.
IBM.
Oh, the supercomputer or the quantum computer?
Irritable bowel menses.
Sounds like a
I don't think that's what IBM stands for.
Anyway,
Hey, fun fact: who knows what IBM actually stands for?
I just said it.
International Business Machines.
Yeah, I thought it was actually kind of cool.
You thought you're special because you knew that.
Well, I just thought it was a fucking kind of a badass name. Like, damn,
does CNN
I
stand
should have
for?
named my fucking LLC International
Yeah,
Business.
what does CNN stand for? You're so good with letters.
Cult News Now.
Oh, he's got it.
I thought it was Clinton News Network. That's what people call it. Or Communist News Network.
Yeah, Communist News Network. That's it. So anyway, what I was saying is, okay, we have these new supercomputers out that can do way more than what your laptop can do or your iPhone can do, what 100 of your laptops can do all together. You know how like they have this like blockchain thing, you know, with where supposedly you need like some special rig and you set up a whole bunch of servers or I don't know, a whole bunch of computers together. Like they're supposed to, then you can get like $5 from Bitcoin or some shit like that.
Oh yeah,
like,
I used to get spammed those DMs all the time. Like, oh yeah, mine your own crypto. Just join my, buy for me and then tell your friends. And I was like,
okay. So I don't think people really understand this fucking IBM quantum computing machine could probably do like that whole blockchain shit in like an hour, like the whole thing, the entire fucking thing. No more Bitcoin to mine. Like seriously, right? Like anyway, so now hook that up with AI, which AI can already do shit where it's like, hey, listen to this voice and can you translate it into French or to Chinese or to, whatever, right? And also, could you explain to me what it means? Also, I took a picture of this thing. I took a picture of these eggs. Does this look ready? And the AI is like, not enough. You got to cook it some more. Flip it over. Like, okay, AI can already do that. All right. And that's just like the tip of the iceberg. You hook it up with this quantum computing machine, and you're just like, it's going to explode. But also, here's the other thing. You guys have seen that video of Deep Tom, right? The guy, Tom Cruise, but like it's not Tom Cruise. It's a guy who sort of kind of looks like Tom
Oh yeah,
Cruise.
that guy. Yeah.
Great job of acting like Tom Cruise, and then they put Tom Cruise's face over him. And
I mean, it's debatable
would
if he's good
swear-
at acting, but yeah.
you would swear you're looking at Tom Cruise. Like when he did, okay. And what was his very first thing that he put out as a fake Tom Cruise, deep fake Tom Cruise?
He's like, I don't know. Actually, what was it? I don't remember.
It was him as Tom Cruise
Running
for president.
I thought that was
Okay.
it.
And he's like literally running or whatever. It's a great Tom Cruise commercial. It looks like something Tom Cruise would do. Anyway, we already know that could be used for elections, where it's like somebody makes a deep fake of some president or some politician or whatever, and they can make them say whatever the fuck they want them to say. But also, we have this AI that can take anybody's voice, and with 8 seconds of their voice only, it can replicate their voice, and you can make it say whatever you want it to say, right? And that's already being used, by the way, where apparently a super PAC for Ron DeSantis put out a fake or an ad really that's like supposed to slander Donald Trump. And it uses Donald Trump's voice saying how he doesn't support this governor anymore and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dude, Donald Trump is like going against Republicans now, right? But it's not Donald Trump actually saying it. It sounds like him, but it's an AI that's cloned his voice and is just saying these things, okay? And on top of all of that, Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, I think he's CEO again. I don't know. On and off again. They have like a pretty.
He's an alternative C. He's like alt.
You know what
man.
it is? Yeah, he's the alternate
Alt
man.
CEO.
He's the alt CEO. It's like one of those relationships in high school where it's like, are they together? They're not together again. Oh, they are together.
It's
like,
complicated. That's what they used to call it on Facebook. It's complicated.
It's complicated. That's right. So they have one of those relationships. Anyway.
He's the one doing all the AI stuff. He's the alt man. He's giving you alternative man.
There you go. Boom. But he says the thing
Elon
that
Musk is giving you the scent.
he's giving you the Musk. Whoa.
Man, a real man. He's a real man.
That's why he's musky.
Hey, real quick. This was a very interesting concept I heard. Have you ever heard of this? It's called nominative determinism.
Name determined by name?
Determinism, yeah. So like someone who's like, for example, when I was a kid, I had a doctor, his name was Robert Cure. So it's like if it's in their name, they have a higher likelihood of going into whatever field.
Yeah.
It's like that's the fucking pre-programmed design, right?
Charles Schwab.
Cameron
Schwab
Cope?
something.
You use the Schwab
Cameron, you're
on your butt
coping?
to detect for COVID.
Cameron is coping with reality. Drake is
Mm.
piercing through whatever.
I like that one. I was gonna say Pearson Education, but
I thought your
Yeah.
next child was going to be a male and also a pair.
yeah, okay, all right. Paris.
Mitchell,
Wow.
your last name is Snyder, and you're the least snide person I know.
Wow.
It's true. Do you make pretzels? Is that it? That's it.
Yo, that guy fucking butchered my last name.
Anyway, Sam Altman.
It's like it's one of those things where it only confirms it when it happens, but then
Right.
mostly doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah,
still a
it's true.
funny term.
It is
Sam
funny.
Altman says the thing he's most concerned about is the ability of AI to persuade one-on-one.
Yeah, because did you preface it with the point where he said he's like the deep fakes, because you were talking about that. It's like I liked his point because I agree with him. He's like, we're already kind of aware of it. Like even that interview, when I first listened to that discussion on Spaces or whatever it was with Alex Weber, right?
Right. Alex
And,
Weber. Yeah.
Alex Weber and Elon Musk and all that. And like it was Patrick Bet David and Andrew Tate and all these. And I was just like, this would be like if somebody was like, I'm going to get a bunch of likes and use a bunch of deep fakes. Like that would be the thing they would make. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I was like, in when I first started listening to it, I liked what they were saying. And I was like, this can't be, is it real? I wasn't sure. So like that goes through, I think, a lot of people's heads now where you're like, is this real? So Sam Altman's point was the deep fakes is a problem, but it's like we're all kind of aware of it. Even if we still fall prey to it, we're still at least aware of it as a problem and that it's a possibility. So if something big happens, you're kind of like, is it real? You know, it could kind of go both ways.
Yeah.
But with the point you're talking about, what was it? The persuasion point, one-on-one,
Yes.
the real point.
Yeah. And so the other interesting thing about it is there's another AI company that has basically phone banks, which are used heavily in campaigning, where like, you get a phone call from like, this is President Barack Obama. And like, it's a pre-recorded, message, but it's like, you get a phone call from a random number.
They have people who call and talk to you about it's like door knocking. It's like they talk to you about the campaign.
They have that too.
Like ask you to vote and stuff. Yeah.
They have that too, but you also get like a pre-recorded message that's like, this
I don't think that would be
Barack
considered
Obama.
a phone bank.
Okay. But the point that I'm making though, is what they were saying is this company has an AI that can, instead of having a bunch of people call you and say, hey, I want you to vote for so-and-so, this is why it's a good idea. They can have the AI just do that for you. And
I guess that would work for a certain set of the population that actually think.
Wait, Mitchell. Jeez.
Stop being so snide.
God, come on. All right. But now they're saying, what if you could have a 10-minute conversation with your favorite celebrity? Cardi B. Yeah, Cardi B calls you. And she's like, oh, okay, so you need to vote for like Biden, okay?
Damn, is this Cardi B on our fucking the podcast right now? Holy shit.
Oh. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Ruby Rose calls me and tells me to vote for Biden. I'm doing it.
Nobody even knows who Ruby Rose is.
You guys, I'm always ahead of the curve.
Nobody even knows who that
Klaus
is.
Schwab calls me, tells me
Just wait, you'll see. Ruby Rose will be the next Cardi B.
So the point being that this celebrity will actually be able to interact with you, right?
It's basically have a conversation with you and talk to you and like for 10 minutes. It can talk as long as you want.
Okay, we should coordinate this to somehow talk to one of these on the podcast and ask it questions.
Well, this company just launched, right? And it's like they were just doing their release and all that stuff. But the fact that it's occurring and they're doing it in time for the election really to get started. I mean, there's going to be more of these companies. And like you might say, even if they're not that effective initially, the thing is they're reinforced learning and that kind of stuff where it's going to get better and the voices will only get better and it'll sound more realistic. And
okay. So realist of real talk.
Real talk.
When we see this, right? Equal Life Party fucking taking over the government. What we're doing. How do y'all see that part? It's like just build the vocabulary, learn how it works, and fucking use it for what's best. What other option do we have?
There's more, Mitchell. There's more.
What are you, fucking Kevin Trudeau in an infomercial?
Wait, it's like it's not even about that. Are you going to be persuaded by an AI to do something stupid?
I know.
Right.
So
get everyone to that. Get enough of the majority
do the process and use the tools. That's the only solution. Just persuade people on a thing, like get them to do the process.
Here's what I see.
That's why it's imperative, right?
We're heading to a post-trust, world of like, what's on digital spaces, right? So basically, like whatever comes through any sort of medium, whether it be your phone or your television, your screen, whatever, any of those mediums is going to be like, there's going to be some layer of like, I don't know if I can trust this, right? And so what's going to be really valuable is your in-person community, right? But aside from that,
what you're doing is real. It's not just a script. It's not just a digital thing that was shown to me. Like it's a real thing. Like when people come to your house or my house, they're like, okay, I see who you are actually.
Right. And people are actually going to be asking for that, or at least strongly desiring it. It's sort of like
whether they ask for it or not, deep down, that's what everybody wants. It's like whether you admit you want
That's
sex or not, you want it. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what I was going to say. It's like Gian the other day was on our hangout, and he was just like ruthlessly real with people, you know, just telling them like it is. And you would think that people would be like averse to that or whatever, but actually people really wanted that. They really needed that. They needed to hear that. It was very supportive for a lot of people.
yeah, grifting.
Anyway.
You know, have you heard this term grifting? I always hear people saying that, and
Can you explain what it means?
Huh?
It's when you eat like, you know, like on your steak,
Grits.
like the part that's
Steak
like
and
really
grits.
chewy is, and you're just chewing on that.
I think you had a typo there, Drakey.
Oh, you're right. That's grizzle. Sorry. My bad. Did you explain grifting, Cameron?
grifting is when you give someone a subscription to the World Economic Forum for Christmas. Now, I don't know what the definition. I have to look it up, but I heard someone describe it as, because I always say, "Oh, this person's a grifter. This person's a grifter," someone else said it as it's people who make money just from telling people what they want to hear. So it's like, you know, there's something that occurs in the world, and the person gets on there and tells their audience what they want to hear about it, just so they'll continue listening to them and so forth, right? And it's like, we've always been very specific about not doing that. Like, we're just gonna, even if no one even thinks we're crazy, it's like we're still gonna say what's really going on.
I thought grifting was like when you jump on like a bandwagon for like the next thing.
No, grifting is according to Merriam-Webster. Okay, and I got Google's AI telling me a definition too.
Okay, all right.
Merriam-Webster: to obtain money or property illicitly, as in a confidence game. So, like, to trick someone, to acquire money or property illicitly.
What else?
Right, and that's the definition. But what I'm saying is, in terms of how it's used as a pejorative to like influencers and stuff.
So it says
like,
in internet. Yeah, in internet slang, a grifter is a person who manipulates or corrupts a system, a group of people, or another entity for selfish gains.
Can you look up the Urban Dictionary definition?
I'm on it.
Thanks.
So let's see, who would that apply to? Pretty much everybody in the fucking system. Did you see that that comment on I think it was on one of Chantel's posts? And
I did not.
And I commented on it. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Okay, you find it.
Urban Dictionary is saying the same thing.
Yeah. Urban Dictionary. I thought there was supposed to be some good slang in there. You know, supposed to break down what the kids are saying. All right.
Slang is short language.
Is it? Is that what
slanging?
It's...
That sounded believable.
That sounded really believable. I was like, all right.
You one of those AIs?
I just grifted you.
You grifted me, you fucker.
No, but like people throw that term around against like Candace Owens. She's a grifter, or who the fuck ever, you know? And it's like,
it's those non sequiturs. You try and
when someone made that point about, it's like they tell the audience what they want to hear. I'm not saying that applies to Candace Owens, but that's kind of really the real point of it. It's like you're just capitalizing on the emotion around something and getting the person riled up about what they want to hear about it, so they'll watch, which gives you views and all that stuff. And it's like, you know, people don't want to hear what we're saying, right?
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, what they really do want, if it's a person who wants to change, then deep down they do want to hear the truth. You see what I'm saying? But they're not necessarily consciously, like, people are walking around looking for that. They're looking for what's going to emotionally satisfy them.
Right.
You know?
So deep down, people are going to want, they're going to need real human interaction just to see that what's actually happening in the real physical is there.
In our system is pushing people to the opposite, whether it's transgender, whether it's metaverse type stuff, whether it's, you know, don't have kids. And like part of that Elon Musk thing that was cool in the very beginning, he was like reiterating that point that he made on the on that
everybody needs
Alex Weber conversation, right? Yeah, the point about everybody, you know, needs to have kids, and we need to increase the population and expand and everything. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Also,
and who has been saying that?
You know, I feel like someone I know has been saying that.
I mean, look,
His name.
we even have a podcast, and now everybody here has babies.
Yeah, and it didn't start out that way. It actually started out only one person here had babies.
Who?
You.
And before that, it was just Avery.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Will I am.
Yeah. Avery Will I Am's. What?
Does Will I am have a baby?
I have a stretch.
It's kind of a
just-
stretch. It's kind of a stretch.
No.
No.
That's how conspiracies work.
But here's the point that I wanted to wrap up with that is okay, so we're moving into this world where it's like it's post-trust of the digital scene. And at the same time, people are going to fall victim to the AI, fall victim to all the scams basically that are going on online and everything.
Yeah, it's like it's post trust in the sense that people are skeptical, but they'll still believe it.
Yes.
But there will still be, because of that, this deep down desire for the real physical thing. It's like people like, okay, guys want to watch porn and they can't stop, but deep down they actually want the real thing.
It's like an emotional layer.
It's not available to them, so they're just like, that's not what they're going to go for.
That's the point. That's the point of like, guys wanting to watch porn, but they don't actually want to watch porn,
No.
but they've been corrupted at some level, where like that they
addiction.
feel like, right, it's an addiction. And in the same way, wanting to believe in like fantasy is an addiction once you've been corrupted. Like, you tell your kid Santa Claus is real, the Tooth Fairy is real, like all this shit. They want to believe that shit now. And so even when you're presented with like logical arguments, they've already got a corruption of holes of logic in their thinking system, where it's like, okay,
imagine 6, 7, 8, I don't know, years of your life believing something that's obviously false.
Yes.
And then people are like, well, but you grow out of it. I'm like, you still believe in God.
Right. And
but that's not real. I mean, that is real. What are you talking about? That's real. Okay. What about Muslims?
Well, they have the same God. They just think wrong about it.
Oh, it's the same, right? It's the same, but it's definitely not the same, right? Because you just be Muslim then, right? So they're obviously retarded and you're not.
Well, they're just confused.
Anytime,
but I'm not confused.
We just need to like, anytime someone says stupid shit, we just need to start playing the Black Eyed Peas. But it starts real quiet and then it kind of gets loud. Like, what is it? Like, that's your fucking theme song.
That's so funny. But it's interesting. It's like, this is the eye of the needle. This is the whole point of this process. Is like there's the emotional layer on top, which is all the bullshit corrupted system within you, and it's like you'll still participate in it. What?
Bias.
Yeah, bias. And it's like, that's why. So back to this post trust thing. I mean, it's all interconnected. Is people doubt what they see online, but on a certain level, if it like locks into that corrupted system, such as porn, or such as when they're like, oh, you have haters, right? Like Self-Perfected is, this group that's trying to brainwash
It's like you watch
people.
a horror movie, it's not real, but you still get scared.
Right.
It's also okay. Well,
but it so not quite. Well, I guess kind of the horror movie, but it's more.
I just meant in the sense of like you still believe it even though you don't believe it.
Right. And
right.
this is where people see who they are. If they're actually going to stand and say, no, fuck that thought. Let me go through this because it actually makes sense to change myself. Or they just get lost and get distracted, and then their life gets worse, and then they have another time loop, and then they get another chance.
A perfect example of that is that QAnon shaman thing we were talking about, where it's like you hear all this stuff, and then as soon as you hear the person talk in reality, you hear their story, you're like, oh, interesting. That's not all what I thought. Like,
Yeah.
Okay. So, this point that I wanted to bring up was within all of this is, okay, the whole reason why somebody would fall prey to that or be susceptible to that is because not only is it corrupted, they don't have all the things that they need, right? And because they're lacking in either the understanding that they need, or the physical nurturing that they need or nutrition that they need or whatever, whenever something comes along that's like, you could win, you just won $1 million. It's basically like, okay, the AI is basically, remember those emails that you would get from some prince in Nigeria or wherever, and it'd be like, I just need help. People got scammed by those. Lots of people that made a lot of money. It worked. What'd you say?
It actually worked, yeah.
Exactly. It worked. And so, okay, that whole thing, imagine that on steroids, where it's like, okay, how can I find that point within everyone and exploit it? Like, what is your individual point on that? It's not, okay, you're like, Nigerian prince, I'm too smart for that. But it's like, God chose you. Oh my God, God chose me. Yes, let's go. Like, you just won the lottery. Oh wow, like this hot girl is looking for singles in your area. Oh, I'm a single. What do you say?
You can make 50 grand a month with Airbnbs.
Right. Or use an AI to make you 15 grand, this week, like whatever
take
it
this
is.
drug and you'll lose weight.
Exactly.
Use ChatGPT, you'll become smart.
The whole starting point of all of those things are lack. What are you lacking? Oh, you lack, your physical body is like, you lack self-esteem essentially, and you lack taking care of your body. You lack the nutrition that you need because you're looking for somebody to validate you. You lack all those things. You're looking for some hot single online or whatever, and then you get trapped into. You remember that Black Mirror episode where it's like, the guy watches something and then they're like, we're gonna blast this out to your whole contact list, and then he ends up having to like go through all these things that he would never fucking do if he wasn't afraid of that, right? It's like, what did he lack? He lacked a relationship. He lacked like real. It's something that you need. It's one of your basic needs, right?
Hey, it's almost like all of this lack stems to one main thing. And wouldn't it be so helpful if there was just like a physical thing you could give to someone that could help them really understand like exactly how this works?
What would we give them? What would that be? Is there a thing? Is there a thing that we could give them?
Do I have one? I have one sitting over there on my shelf. Want me to go get it?
It's on the AR-15, is it?
Okay, pause for dramatic.
There goes Mitchell. He's gone now.
You're getting a smoothie, I know it.
Everybody, you could have a smoothie from Mitchell. Actually.
Yeah, and it will end all of your lack.
Because it literally has everything in it. Have you ever seen a smoothie that Mitchell makes?
You literally will lack everything, every ingredient in your house afterwards.
Look. That's what it is. Just kidding.
This is it.
This.
Oh.
You got me.
You got me, bro.
Is that a bookmark of where you're actually at on Otherland?
No, not that far.
Pulled it out. It's not that far.
No, but actually, right? You got to go to Clubhouse to see this. But it's literally the root of every fucking thing Drake is saying. It's like the lack of the relationship, the lack of the business, lack of the money, the lack of the self-confidence. It's all so fucking simple. It's just a fucking vocabulary problem.
And so now,
lack of education.
Imagine, okay, if Bill Gates gets a message that says you just won the lottery, or if you reply back to this, you'll get $1 million. Do you think he's gonna open that? He's gonna be like, whatever. Like I make $1 million tonight. Tonight I'll make $1 million, and I don't have to do shit. Like I don't like. He's not gonna reply to that. He doesn't need that, right? So imagine if your child was brought up in a way
I see what
where
you're saying.
You
can't get scammed if you have everything you need.
Exactly. You can't get scammed if you have everything you need. You can't.
And the scammer wouldn't even exist.
Exactly, because he'd have everything he needs.
Some people are just evil. It's like, no, then you're just stupid. Is that it?
That's it. That's literally it. Because like even like everybody
programs.
I want to say everybody knows this, but not everybody knows this. But it's a really obvious point, and that is, even if you're not altruistic, if you're extremely selfish, it's in your best interest not to scam somebody if you have all your needs met. And if
Right,
they
you're
have all their
making an
needs met.
enemy. Yeah.
It doesn't even make
Some
sense.
people just have a desire to hurt people.
Only because they were brought up with lack. Hello.
Hey, let me share this with you real quick. That was a cool thing. It's kind of, it might seem random, but it's the same kind of logic. Chantel made this post that said, it's interesting how people say the government is corrupted when every person in this world is corrupted, which is kind of what we're talking about, right?
Ooh, yeah.
And this guy says, do you think the corruptedness of human beings began with the government institutions like the public fool system, the Hollyweird system, the corrupted religious system, and on and on and on? Aristotle said this. I don't remember your son saying
I don't
this.
remember Aristotle talking.
I do remember him talking, actually.
Oh
He
yeah,
said,
he's like, blah, 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 blah.
Aristotle said this approximately 3,000 years ago. Human beings are good by nature, or mankind could not exist. This may lead us to more clues, maybe. And I said, that's a good question. I said, but why would a totally uncorrupted human create a system that was corrupt? How would that be possible? Perhaps human nature is neither good nor bad inherently and becomes that which it sees in the world from a young age and from the influence of those around them. I said, I'm not disagreeing with your point per se, but how do we move beyond blaming a system and move ourselves to take responsibility for who we are and what we accept and allow? And then what he said is that you can have deviations within any system. So about 3,000 years ago, some very smart, lazy, corrupt humanoids, let's call them cheaters, created a closed system designed to live off the middle class. And to be successful in the future, 100% responsibility will be the survival tool. Survival pressures will make or break everyone to evolve or die. He says, I think the cleanup is happening now and right before our eyes. And he referenced a book. And I said, yeah, I've read that book. And I said, but if you start with the premise that humans are good by nature, then how do you explain the existence of the smart, lazy, corrupt humanoids that you call the
Right.
cheaters? How did they become corrupt in the first place? And he says, consciousness and free will and dishonesty, I guess. Otherwise, that question seems like it's similar to who created existence and who created that creator and so on. So maybe a waste of time. Whereas instead, we could be more focused on the cure now instead of answers we may not ever answer.
It doesn't make sense, though. That
Well,
completely
it's-
contradicts his point.
But that's what he started with.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
So
make
I'm not
sense.
trying to jump on this guy because I think he's on the same, he has the same starting point, right? But you can see how it's like, it's still like it. That's kind of the point I was trying to make with the deep state thing. It's like the deep state puppet. I'm like, well, that guy's just a deep state puppet. And it's like, but how did he get there? What is the point that's really going on? How is that being held in place? How is everybody else? Like, he's just a deep state puppet doing the bidding of the people. But this other person, this random, just normal good person is just going to work and trying to survive. But why are they doing that? Are they choosing to do that? Or, like what are all the aspects of why all this is happening? It's not just it's easy to go and blame and be like, that's just that person's a puppet. It's like, are you a puppet?
Yes.
I mean, are you making any decisions that are really your own? Are you a puppet of the fucking tech companies?
Yes. Legitimately.
Fine puppet.
I mean, you get on your phone like involuntarily and just scroll. You are a puppet. Like, I'm sorry.
What does the word puppet mean actually?
I don't know. Let's Wiktionary this shit.
Because
Okay.
there's this song by Kraftwerk called Schaufensterpuppen. I think it's what it's called.
Pooping? Oh, I do that.
Schaufenster, yeah, I bet you do. Schaufensterpuppen or puppet? I can't remember what's the word. But the normal song is called The Model. Like in the English, it's called The Model, and it's about like a model.
Oh, interesting.
But I think Schaufensterpuppen is like a display model. If I'm not mistaken, like a display dummy.
We can ask the Germans.
And
By
so
the way,
I'm just bringing it up as a point of like, is puppet purely someone who's under the control of somebody else, or is a puppet something that's not real, like a model, a simulation? Do you know what I mean? Yes, there's that aspect we know where you're being controlled by something, but also there's like you're not the real thing. Like
look up the etymology.
Like Pinocchio
it's girl or doll.
Pinocchio was a puppet,
Yes.
but he wasn't controlled by anybody.
Well,
But he wanted to be real.
He wasn't
I've
real.
never seen Pinocchio, so
He wasn't
Also-
real, but he didn't have strings, remember?
But also, he wasn't real. But also,
it was
He,
made by Disney.
What happens when we create these fucking robots with AI as they're doing, and
And
no one
they-
controls them. Like
Yo, there was a
the
term
point of having
yesterday.
fucking AI in it is they're not controlled by anybody.
It's called there's a new word for this. It's really fascinating. That Wes Roth guy, I like it. I like a lot of his stuff.
Yeah, he's
It's
cool.
called agenticness. So it's like the
Mm.
level of agency something has.
Mhm.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Puppet comes from pupa, P-U-P-A, Latin. It means doll, puppet, or girl. See also puppy,
Puppy?
puppy.
Oh,
Comes from doll or puppet.
You know, like a pupa stage of like a larva, then pupa.
yeah.
Yeah, same thing. Oh, a woman's puppy means a woman's pet dog. Really? That's what it originally came from. Middle English.
A woman's puppy?
Puppet.
Yeah.
Pup?
Pup.
Puppet.
Yes.
Meant a
Or a
dog.
thing.
Oh,
It's
I
like a
didn't know.
plaything.
It's basically a thing. Yeah, it's just like a thing.
A plaything.
Okay.
A puppet.
Huh.
Like it doesn't mean per se like the puppet that you see in the shows. Do you see what I'm saying?
All right, Puppet. I see
Yeah,
what you're
exactly.
saying.
I always thought they were saying pop it.
Puppet?
No.
Okay.
It's not a
interesting.
bop.
It is
Puppet.
funny. I have heard that like puppet, like in that context, like you just used it.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
definitely heard
Of
what's his
endearment,
name?
sort of like yeah,
Russell Brand say it.
yeah.
By the way, what's going on with Russell Brand? I haven't heard of him in a while. Did he get canceled or what?
He still
Nah.
makes
No, he still makes videos. They're just not recommended to me anymore. All right.
That stuff just sucks.
Speaking of which, Mitchell, Brigitta says she's on page 308,
Uh-oh.
which means she will
Uh-oh.
catch you tomorrow. Tomorrow, she's gonna be on page 400, and she's gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm caught up to Mitchell." And then next week on the podcast, you know where she's gonna be?
I've been binging some very specific skills I'm trying to learn. So,
You know what though?
ball
It-
has gone second on me.
like
Mm.
Katie makes this point about how if you look at it as sort of an analogy of heaven, right?
Like Bitworld?
die-
Bitworld is heaven?
What are we-
Yeah,
wait, what are we
like
talking
when you
about?
die, you go to heaven.
Oh, spoilers!
People think that
Spoilers,
it's going to
everybody.
be all this great stuff, and it's like, but if you look at it from the Destiny perspective, it's like you're about to enter a reality you have no fucking context for, and you don't know how to navigate it. You know anything? It's not dissimilar to being born into this world where you're like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Right.
Mhm.
So the real question is, who are you? Who are you within whatever context there is?
But people are like, oh no, it's just going to be this thing you show up to, and it's like all really great already.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, there's angels and there's demons and there's fighting and there's this and that. It's like just kind of like this world. It's not really fundamentally different. And so don't put all your hope into that. So it's really cool if you were to read that and be like, okay, I can see how heaven actually doesn't make sense. Like it's just a simulation created by something I perceive as a higher being that has my best interest at heart, even though the one I was just in that they also created was totally fucked. It's like, well, hold on, hear me out.
The
Hear me out, guys.
advertisements are
Hold on, hear me
nice.
out, hear me out. You believe in God, you believe in heaven, and so forth, right? Okay.
Okay.
So why is the earth fucked? If God is all benevolent, all powerful, he can do anything he wants.
Because you
Why
have
is-
free will, Cameron.
Okay. So then why is heaven so great?
Because
God
you don't
runs
have free
it.
will.
Because God runs it.
Wait, he runs
That's
this world
it.
too, doesn't he? Like, which is it? Do you have
Well,
free will in heaven or not?
Clearly, you
Well,
cannot
it's
have
like
free will
so
in
awesome.
heaven.
It's like so awesome. Everyone has their needs met, so they have no need to do anything bad.
You know what else?
But just make that one this one. And then it's like, well, but the people who went to heaven, they chose God and all that, right? So that's why they're allowed to be in there. They still have their free will or something, but their will would never be corrupted. It's like, so they all led perfect lives here. Did they prove the point while they were here that they would
No,
be like
Jesus died for
heaven?
their sins,
Listen,
and then it's like a bath. It's like a bath. Then they go.
But then
into
none of the
bath,
Christians
they're
can agree
clean.
of how do you actually achieve that? Because some of it's
Yeah.
like you have to do certain things. Some of you just have to believe. It's like
Just go on Sundays as much as you can, and
you
hope
go on
it works
Sundays,
out.
believe, get other people to believe, and then when you die,
And then don't worry about making heaven on earth here.
no, don't worry about that. Like, because you just got to let those non-believers be non-believers. I mean,
Yes.
just let them. But then when you go to heaven, all your sins are stripped from you. Yeah,
Okay.
Perfect.
and then if
Get out of
if
jail
you,
free card. It's like Monopoly.
if you fuck up in heaven, the heaven police come get you, and then they send you to hell. So you
Whoa,
can still go to hell.
no.
Or is it
I
heaven,
thought
hell?
you get to heaven and you're like permanently in for good. You don't have to worry.
Nope. There's heaven, hell. If you fuck up in heaven,
Is it the
Oh.
same as hell?
because otherwise, how would we keep
Hell,
it
hell.
heaven?
Heaven, hell.
Yeah, it's heaven.
Okay,
hell.
hang on.
Yeah,
What if someone
You're
changes?
telling me it's like there's like a social credit system and like some people at
Definitely.
the top like make sure that
you're
everyone
always
has
being
a place
watched
in heaven?
too. You're always being watched,
Like
so
Big
you don't
Brother.
fuck it up.
They
But
call
it's
it
kind of like the
Jewish-
metaverse. So you could like do metaverse Grand Theft Auto in heaven, so you could get out all of your bad things, and then you wouldn't go to heaven hell. You would
Hey,
actually just be in the metaverse
so
doing your thing.
I was just looking at this point, because I've been looking at like just words. You guys know words. I like words.
Words.
Do you think they have TikTok in heaven?
Words.
Like, do you think they're like
I think
making?
TikTok practically is heaven.
Do you think they're making TikToks? Like, what are they doing in heaven?
Just
Talking,
Sitting there?
They're just
Do they have
doing these
technology?
dances.
Do they have technology?
singing
They're
to
doing the
my-
Just like,
dances.
is it just like an all day, all you can eat buffet? Is that all it is?
Yeah.
Is there sex?
But in hell,
Like,
you're this. It's the spoon thing, right? Where there's a long spoon,
Yes.
and in hell they're like trying to eat it, but they can't eat it.
Right.
And in heaven they're feeding each other. Imagine
Yeah.
that. I'm like, Drake, eat this fucking chocolate.
like in heaven, they can't just
What?
each have their own spoon.
Yeah, God is all powerful, but they like have these long ass spoons.
And that's all you do all day.
Figure it out.
Day one, like person comes and they drop it because they're not used to the long spoon. They're like, fuck
But
me.
you don't have a body, so how can you eat?
Oh, dude.
No body.
I
Because
thought you.
your
Oh
body
yeah,
do
yeah,
that.
heavenly body.
It's like rematerialized, but maybe it's at the end of time, but there is no time.
Yeah, how do you eat if there's no time?
Okay. All right. Let me just drop this in here. Let me just
Maybe it's
Drop
like
some.
it's like a all inclusive resort in Hawaii. That's kind of what I picture Hawaii or heaven to look like.
that would get so fucking
Ooh,
boring.
Well, except for when the fires were happening, like normal Hawaii, like postcard Hawaii.
uh-huh.
Why you can also
Isn't
be
that what
like
you guys
hell.
picture?
Huh?
Huh?
Yeah, with the lava pits. Oh shit! I'm gonna have to refine my mental image of heaven.
Why does hell have to be fire? Why can't it just be like really cold? That would be like worse to me.
That would be much worse for me.
Like a
I think
sauna.
for Christine too. Christine also does not
Yo,
like the cold.
okay. It's because that's what was written in those books. Okay,
Which books?
ancient books,
Which ones?
Talmud,
Oh,
Torah.
Dude,
who reads this?
if people were
Genesis.
that influenced by a couple books written like millions of years ago or something, right? Imagine like the shit AI is gonna make.
Dude. That's literally what Yuval Noah Harari
Yeah, I
said.
was just gonna say he's got some
Well,
interesting
yeah.
stuff on the.
But imagine like the Pokemon type shit that AI is gonna create and like the fucking just
Dude.
nuts stuff, man.
Like, okay,
Maybe that's what
imagine
heaven is. people
imagine
think.
how many people got fucking like all steamied up for the QAnon
Steamy?
stuff.
What the fuck is steaming me?
You know what I mean? They got charged up. They're like, oh, it's so good.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
yeah,
The
yeah.
QAnon,
It's like a
the
pretty
QAnon
epic
thing is
story.
a perfect example of what we always say about if you teach your kids in Santa Claus, then they believe like stupid
Yeah.
shit. Like
Yeah, because
And
it's
like-
like it's
people couldn't have been manipulated by QAnon if there wasn't some like deep like need for like God and the savior and stuff.
and look, Trump drank his water like
And like
this.
the naughty list too. It's like the naughty. It's like ooh, the bad guy. You know, the deep state is like on the naughty list, right? And we're like the good guys. And it's like this whole just. And then the people just sit back. Like I've met some of these people. Like I would go to these rallies at the Capitol because it was like for health freedom, and I was like, oh, we'll go see what's up here. And then I like chatted with some of these people. They're like, yeah, there's the Nisara and Jazara. Have you heard of this?
No, who?
Sounds like some shit out of the Bible. No, like Nesara. I know Rebecca knows it. You know how this
I've heard
Karen's
that
fucking grinning. Karen's like, I read some.
No,
of it.
I've heard it. Is it like a free energy thing or some shit? Or
No, it's
No.
like free money. National Economic Security and Recovery Act
Oh.
in the 90s, and then probably Global Economic Security.
Oh,
So they're like at some point, because the cabal has been stealing money, we're gonna get
yes.
back, and then we're going to be handing it out to people. And I was
Yes.
chatting with this one guy who's like, he's got a kid. He's like, wants to homeschool him. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's like meet. And he's like, I'm like, so what are you doing right now? He's like, well, Jazara and Nazara are coming out soon. So, I'm just preparing. I'm like, okay, great. So what does that look like? He said, well, I'm just waiting for orders. And
That's
like, this dude's like, it's kind of successful in real estate. Like I mean, the guy's he probably makes 6 figures a year. So but he got so duped into
Dude,
like,
it gets
just
people
waiting.
like it's the lottery mentality, and it gets
Yeah,
people
big time.
especially if like You know what's interesting about it is
Well, you got to be
I've
certain
noticed-
at all levels of reality.
yeah, I've noticed people like, okay, obviously people who are broke have a lottery mentality, right? But also people who like they've made some money and they have some expendable resources, they're the ones who
Yeah.
really get got by this.
Religion is the lottery mentality.
It is. But they're the ones who really get got. Oh, okay. Here, that's a perfect segue. Thank you. Religion is a lottery mentality. There's a phrase that you've heard, and it is, "I am that I am." Right? Right? I am that I am. And what's implied with that is I am indeed what I am in word. Right? I do what I say, essentially.
People don't even know what the fuck deed means nowadays.
That's why I'm breaking it down.
If you ask the average person on the street, hey, what does the word deed mean? They're like,
Contract law.
yeah,
But
not even that. Just like, I don't know, doing something.
I do what I say, essentially. And so many people have this belief of themselves, especially in religion. They have this belief that they are a good person, but there's no actions behind what they're saying.
They give to charity.
Hey,
I saw this thing this guy posted who somehow I'm friends with on Facebook, and like I think he does real estate maybe. But anyways, he was like posting something they were doing. It was like in this big stadium looking room, and it was all these chairs. I was like, what the fuck is this? I was looking at it, and it was like basically like they just sit and pray with people. And it was
in a
just like
stadium?
in some big conference
That's a
center kind of room.
machine.
You know what I mean? It's like a big room basically, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mitchell's like, how do I get that? Like,
Straight up, like
but I'm just saying, like,
Yo,
it was just
feel
like
like
that's
Mitch is like, yo, come
part,
play with
you know?
me.
And it's like, what are you doing? You're just sitting there thinking about stuff.
Come pray with me, bro. Come, like, come to my fucking stadium.
Oh,
and
prayer
play
is
with
so
me.
powerful. It's like, well, what if you're Muslim?
right.
What about
Yeah,
it?
the people in the Middle East like praying for
They pray 5 times a day.
People who, yeah, it's like when you're like, oh, God was on the side of like the Astros, and you're like, because he wasn't on the side of the Rams, or well, I know it's a different sport, whatever.
I remember this. I think I
the
said it
Twins.
on the podcast one time. I literally remember as a kid, one time the Twins, our baseball team, made it to the playoffs, and I was like, I had like gone to a playoff game, and it was like, whoa! I was like, oh my, what was it?
Your prayer worked.
Well, no. So one night, because they were like losing, there was one game left. I can remember this. I was like laying there, going to bed. And I was like, okay, I'm like saying my prayers as I was instructed to do. And I like thought of this hack to pray. So I was like, God, please make the Twins win. And I said, please, please, please. And then I imagined in my mind, like if I wrote please on a whole piece of paper, I could say it like 100 times. And then I imagined a book full of please. So I was like, God, please, 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 please make the Twins win.
And they won.
No,
Oh.
imagine if they did win, that would have got me even worse. I remember I was like trying to hack the system. I was like, how can I like communicate to God that the Twins have to win?
What does it mean that God answers prayers?
Ask for something and it
it
coincides.
means some people are
People
schizophrenic.
pretend like, oh no, that's not what it means. That's not real prayer. Real prayer is when you're just grateful for something. You're like, so what? Like, why do you need God to be in that equation?
Let's see what pray means.
It
What
means
about
like
Satan?
you ever like hunt for some.
What's this prayer? Hey, nice, Daniel. Real prayer.
Yeah.
I don't know why Katie's bringing up Satan with my name.
Yeah, I don't know. She said that like 4 minutes ago or something.
Are you saying if I prayed to Satan like that?
The point about the politician AI thing is that
That was Katie.
I think that was Accelerando. I started reading it, and then I started reading Fall, so I stopped reading Accelerando, and then Katie read Accelerando and was like, it's really good.
Oh yeah, that's on my book.
All in
list too.
AI and all kinds of stuff. Like it's pretty cool. I just started reading Fall, so I stopped.
Ooh, yo, check this out. Prayer
Check.
comes from the word prek, P-R-E-K, which means to ask or woo, W-O-O.
Ooh.
According to
Ooh.
Ooh,
Ooh. Okay. All right. Ooh, I'm going to woo you guys. Watch this. Right?
wow.
Now we know where woo woo comes from.
Woo woo.
People like, wow.
All right. Check this out. Ready? Okay. Fuck, I forgot what it was. Oh no, wait. I got it. Don't say anything. Okay. God, right? People are trying to woo God, right? So that they can get him to do things for him, right?
It's got
But
such self-esteem.
because he's got such self-esteem, like, oh,
God, you're so mighty. You're so powerful.
would
You're
you
so
marry me?
amazing.
Yeah, could you look up woo? Could you look up woo? Because the context that I think of woo is like
Okay.
you're trying to marry somebody.
Yeah,
you're
like you're wooing them. You're trying to get favor
Like how
from.
you wooed Christine.
like, yeah, you know how I wooed
From
her.
Proto-Indo-European wonk or wa, which means
I don't
bend,
know.
twist, or turn.
Oh, you're trying to manipulate God.
It
That's
comes
what you're
from
trying to do.
originally, well, not originally. Okay, if there's like levels to this, not the origin, but the more recent
We don't
one.
want to
It's
go all the way to the
woo-
very beginning.
Old English wogian, to woo,
Wogan.
court, or marry. And then from
You're trying to fuck.
Interesting.
You wouldn't have sex with God, you little perv.
yeah, but it really comes from bend, twist, or turn. Wow.
You're trying to bend reality to your will.
You're
And
trying
you're
to
like trying to pretend like you're a good person because you're doing it for God. And it's like, why does the idea of God make people think they're a good person?
okay.
Like
Actually,
what does that have to do with you're a good but if you try to play God, then you're bad. It's like, but you playing a God to get him to do what you want in the first place. And you're believing in God because you want to be in heaven. So you're trying to manipulate reality by pretending you're not God, but you're really trying to manipulate God. It's bullshit.
Wow. Look at that. You're playing a shell game with yourself. Where you're
Yeah, it's self-hypnotism.
right, where you're really trying to just get into heaven, but you've convinced yourself that you're a good person. Because if you just look at the point of like, I just want to go to heaven, I just want good things. If you really look at
It
it,
sounds really bad, actually.
it sounds really bad.
I don't want
So
to burn in hell forever.
exactly. So you're like, I just really want to go to heaven. I really don't want to be in
I
hell.
don't want to look like I only care about myself. So I'm going to pretend like I'm holy because I believe in God.
Right. So I believe in
But
God.
I'm not going to put any actual responsibility on myself or God.
Right.
Other than it all works out for me in the end.
Yep.
Anything else goes. I don't give a shit. Crickets,
if
transgender, whatever.
anybody questions me, I'm just gonna oh God. Yep. Don't push
I'm
on
going to
that point.
punish my kids if they do bad in algebra. But if you try to use logic with me on the nature of reality,
Dude, I saw a thumbnail for some Oxford professor, mathematician, argues in favor of God. And I was like, it must not be a very good mathematician.
Dude, the only relatively reasonable argument for God that I've ever heard was Chris Langan.
Oh no. Okay. No,
Okay,
here's
To a degree.
here's let me break this down. Hold on.
Can you talk like Chris Langan too?
Can I talk like it's like the metaphysical core?
Thomas, he doesn't know how to dumb it down for people, so people can just go into all kinds of ideas.
You know why it is? You know why he can't dumb it down? Because he's like, you people are dumb. Like I can't even speak this dumb. It's too hard.
He just doesn't know how to dumb it down. But I mean, at the same time, like it's like trying to dumb down quantum mechanics. If you dumb it down, it's going to get misinterpreted. So all you can do is use the correct terms, but nobody understands it, so then they misinterpret it anyways.
I bet you he doesn't even think he's that smart. I bet you he's like
I'm sure it's just like it just makes sense.
Like, how do you not get it? Like, oh my God. I gotta argue with another fucking idiot.
But you notice everybody who talks to him, they get into like this idea of like celebrity and they get into the drama and the energy of it instead of just talking about what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah.
Like, what about that one time when Richard Dawkins said this to you? And he's like, oh, Richie Dickie Dawkins, and you're like, oh, fuck. Okay. Can you talk about something?
Okay. So basically, here's what I'll say to this. It's like you can't bend. I'm gonna say life. I'm just gonna say life, right? like life is within you. That's how you're living. That's how you're breathing. It's like there is life in you, right? And then, oh, okay. All right. Help me out with this one. Okay. Remember what we were talking about before the podcast with the organization, the structure, and everything, right? And words. Okay. All right.
Oh yeah,
So,
this breakthrough and
okay,
Breakthrough.
but help me out with this one. Should I explain that part?
Explain it all, Drake.
I think
Let's
it's
hear it.
necessary.
You think it's necessary?
I
You don't
said
think
if you think
Drake
it's necessary.
If I
didn't see
think-
me.
Drake read this book, okay, and here's the thesis: language organizes thoughts into using symbols and matter.
Okay, all right.
In order
It
to
did not
do
say that,
things.
but it did say that. It did say that actually. Okay. Basically this. You have abstract meaning, right? Versus meaningless matter, essentially, right?
Which I would disagree with, but okay.
But okay, sure. But it's like the conjoining of these things, right? Matter, where it's just like, you know, you have these marks, let's say, that to you have no meaning. They're just like an expression. But then when you organize them in a certain structure, then it can express this abstract meaning, and you can share that, right? But also you can look at
How
it.
does it do that? How do you do that? If you really start to look at it, how do you do that?
Well,
How do you know what the meaning of the words is?
Can I give you another analogy?
But I'm just saying, no, look at it.
Answer
Really.
the question, Drake.
How do you like? It was like, well, but you put the meaning and there's the symbols, and then it becomes this thing that you can transfer the meaning. It's like, but how do you know what the meaning is?
Okay, all right.
How do you take this abstract, this not abstract, this matter?
Yeah.
You have this meaning.
Yeah.
You're like, you can use language to express the meaning. It's like, but how does the person know what the meaning is that you're trying to express? So there's a separation in the starting point of that argument that invalidates it.
Okay. All right.
Anyway.
I'm glad you said that. We're gonna keep moving.
Because even matter itself is a language. That's what Chris Langan talks about, the meta language.
Yeah.
It's actually a language in itself.
Ooh.
It's not like it. So all reality is language. It's not like there's matter in language. All reality is language.
Put that in your techno tier.
But it is.
No, I'm serious.
You're
Okay.
fucking
I'm really
techno-tutor.
going to.
Put it in your techno tier. Okay. But the other thing that I wanted to say was this, and that is, okay, it's kind of like the idea of you go into, like, I like to make this joke. You go into the village where what's his name grew up. What's his name? Gaitan.
Barack Obama.
Or Barack Obama. You know, they were neighbors, Gaitan and Barack Obama.
And
Yeah. Anyway, so you go into the village where they grew up, right? And you see all these like sticks, which is kind of all about, right? But then you can organize them into a structure that becomes a hut, you know, where they live, right? And so basically, the structure allows for a different expression, right? We'll just say it that way. Damn, I forgot what I was going to say now. Damn. What were we talking about before we got into all this? I should have wrote it down.
somebody
That
rewind
is
the
language.
Yeah. Fuck it.
I want to know what Cameron means by how the meaning is transferred. So if all reality
No,
is language,
Like if I say the word dog, how
Like
do you
the
know what I
WG.
mean by dog when I say dog? Now you say like, well, because you said the word and you pointed at the dog. Okay.
Mhm.
God.
somebody described many other things.
someone spelled dog backwards.
But how did you do that? But how did hold on? But look at all the words that you are going to use to describe that.
Right.
Yeah,
Powerful.
How do all those words? How do you know the meanings of all those words?
Okay, so
Well, I
did
used
a-
other words to describe them, but how did you get the first words? And so you, well, when
Okay,
you're
so-
a baby, right? Okay, you bottle, cup, cookie, like suddenly you can understand God.
Well, you do a lot of actions, right?
How do you ever have the meaning of anything? I'm just saying, like it's a little bit deeper than people
Well,
realize.
it's interesting because I see this real time with Aristotle, for example. He's like learning more how to interact with. So I'm literally watching this he's not a blank slate, but somewhat of a blank slate, empty sponge little kid, every day learning more, and he's like starting to associate things with certain things. But how the fuck does it work?
Okay. I just
It's like a
remembered what I was
mini
gonna say.
AI. He's like a mini AI we're programming.
Okay, I remembered what I was gonna say. Okay. So, okay, where does the meaning come from? Where does this come from? Cameron, I'm gonna say I don't know.
I wasn't saying where does it come from. I'm saying how do you know the meaning of the word I'm saying?
It's just been conditioned.
Then how? Because how do you know the word for God? How do you know what that means?
Yeah.
You I don't know. You don't. You're guessing. You're just filling in the blank like a
All I was
fucking.
trying to say was like this idea that there's meaning and then there's words and somehow you can put them together. I'm like, they're actually not separable.
It's the words
Okay,
within
okay.
it have the meaning, right?
Because otherwise, it's like, how
But
would you
where's it
know if
stored?
the word is that meaning in the first place? How did you have meaning before you had the connection of the words? Like, I have this meaning, and then I want to get it across. Okay, let me use
Right.
these.
You couldn't
words.
have meaning without
You can't-
words.
right?
Okay.
That makes
There
sense.
is no such thing as like they're
But
not
then
separable at all. That's
how
all I
it
disagree with. It's
then-
like this kind of separation, and that's where like the Platonic bullshit of
Right,
like
right.
world of ideals and heaven comes from, and all that.
Okay.
Where okay.
However, I will say this point. There is an organization to words, obviously,
yeah.
right? And then that can support more meaning or different meaning with the organization of like grammar. We have specific grammar, right? Like if I say, like if I arrange DOG versus GOD, that's a different word. That's a different meaning.
Yeah.
Right. But it's the same letters, but different organization.
Now think about how you construct a programming language. Like if you can write a new programming language, so these words do things.
So this is the point
The
that I was
person
getting
who
to.
programmed it decided what they were going to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's not like humans invented language.
So I remembered this. No, I wasn't saying that.
But I know that, but that's what that book would argue.
Maybe, perhaps. I don't know.
Because it would be like, oh, we figured out we can take this matter and we can express ideas through it. And
It's more like language.
We had the ideas because we had the words.
So it's like language emerges even more
The
just
beginning
because
was
language is
the
always here.
word.
Yeah. Okay. So it's always been here.
It's just been words this whole
The
time.
meanings just evolve though.
Well, we've maybe devolved the meanings.
Well, and what the fuck is sound? Okay. So I know like sound, like words are pockets of sound. It's like, what the fuck is sound?
Matter.
What is water?
Okay. Now this makes more sense, actually.
Particles.
So particles, photons,
Fucking stuff.
vibration
Puppets.
Okay, you watch The Little Mermaid, right? How do they talk to each other?
in the water.
Yeah.
How do they? I don't know.
But like
you're saying like how do whales make sound with each other?
dude, I watched this really cool video one time of this guy talking about how to survive a grenade.
Uh-huh.
Have you seen this? And like a grenade has like shrapnel and stuff, right? So if you can get out of the blast radius of it, then you're okay, right? But if you did it underwater, it will kill you.
Right.
Because it's like the water is like so rigid from a perspective of the compared to like air, that it's like the shock wave would like kill you. If that makes sense. Even if you're like, I don't know if you're really far away if it would kill you or not, but it's like
not if you're really far away. Like they have these like little things that they're like these discs that you can put into the water that will rupture with a certain amount of pressure. And so you can make it like if there's 5 pounds of pressure or 10 pounds of pressure or whatever, it'll rupture this disc.
Why?
Right? What?
they for?
It's like a mine?
For testing stuff like this. So like so you can put an explosion and you can have this disc that's like maybe 5 feet away, 10 feet away, 20 feet away, whatever. And you can see just how far this sound wave would actually kill you. So obviously with distance, it's less, right? But yes, that I only know this because of Mythbusters. You remember Mythbusters?
Yeah, but I never watched it.
Okay, well, anyway, they did an episode where they were like, is it actually easy to kill fish in a barrel? Like shoot fish in a barrel. And they were like, if you're actually
Were they actually shooting fish in a barrel?
Yes, they tried. Well, they put fish in with these things like to see like, first off, can you aim and shoot a fish in a barrel? And second off, what actually kills the fish in the barrel? Is it just the shockwave of the bullet entering the water and everything? And they found that it's actually hard to aim and shoot a fish in a barrel because the light refraction and all that, right? But they still die because of the shockwave. So anyway, that's what I learned.
The saying is it's like shooting fish in a barrel, not killing fish in a barrel.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We were talking about photography. Photography
Meaning.
starts with a PH.
Okay.
Fish starts with an F. Explain that one.
Okay.
I think if we said phonics,
how would you spell
everything
fish
would get
photography?
easy.
let me just say this one point before we wrap up. Because I wanted to finish the point that I was actually trying to say before. And that was life is expressing itself through us. Or at least it would be expressing itself through us if we weren't so convoluted with our own mind and basically preventing that expression.
It is expressing itself through us. It's just we're not expressing ourselves as what we're fully capable of.
Right. Which requires structure and organization, which requires for us to restructure and organize our thoughts, which are informed by our words. That's what I wanted to say. That was it.
And what is government?
Governing your mind.
Isn't it just words?
Oh, that
Isn't corporations and laws and stuff just words? Oh, words don't. I mean, a picture's worth 1,000 words.
Imagine all the laws.
I mean, nobody measures words in numbers of pictures, do they?
I saw something. Somebody was talking about this. I don't remember who it was.
How many pictures would it take to describe a word?
I don't know. Wow. AI's like that's because the picture is words anyway. Like it's.
Show me a picture of God.
Argument.
Yeah, show me a picture.
Show me a picture. Careful. If you're in Saudi Arabia, they might fucking kill you.
But no, that hairy guy in the sky.
Harry Potter.
That's it.
Okay.
No,
okay.
that
Hold
point
on.
of like, okay, fuck. That point of words. Before that, what were we talking about?
The meaning. This is the open loop still.
Damn it.
The fucking meaning.
Lost.
How
I
is it
am that
transferred?
will I am.
I am that will I am. I'm that
Hey,
will.
that's actually pretty profound if you actually look at the word will. Like I am that, like what you will.
Yeah.
Let's
Like what you
Fergie
will.
enter into this.
I like that.
What you say, Cam?
I said, how does Fergie enter into this?
She's fergalicious. Okay. Anyway. But hear this point. Be that which you are.
Yes.
That's it. This is so simple, right? Like,
Well,
do
you're
how you believe yourself.
And then
You're technically.
Otherwise, you're gonna be that guy who fucking sits there in the corner going, "Yeah, guys, I'm
I want to live in a world where Fergie is at the World Economic Forum instead of Will I Am.
I bet Fergie
probably-
goes there.
She probably is. I bet
Think
she
so?
is. You think Will goes by himself? You think Will I Am goes by himself? You
He
think
got his side hoe.
you think Leonardo DiCaprio goes by himself?
Does he spell his name because like that's what he wants his website to be? Is that why he spells his name like that?
Will.I.am.
.I.am.
That's pretty.
That should be his
genius.
website.
It should be.
I wonder if that is his website. Can you have more? How many dots can you have in the
What?
middle? Is there like rules?
No, I don't know actually.
You can't be like .com dot.
Can I share my screen?
Yeah, hang on.
You guys, I found Fergie. Just changed.
All right, let's see it.
There's also Fergie, which is like a princess or a duchess or something.
Never heard.
Yeah,
Oh.
Fergie.
That's literally who I was talking about.
Named Fergie, British.
Right.
That's all right. Fergalicious.
Yeah, that's Fergie.
Hey, spouse Prince Andrew. What? Yo, conspiracy.
You know this is a joke, right?
This is a joke.
I'm not sure if Mitch is aware that that's not Fergie. I can't tell if he's being snide.
See, this is snide.
Wait.
No, I'm talking fucking. I had the Black Eyed Peas album.
So
Oh,
wait,
fuck.
that's not Fergie?
No,
That
that's-
is Fergie. This is Fergie.
Okay. I know this Fergie.
She did not. Hey, double Duchess.
That's
though.
why they call her the Duchess. Get it?
I see now.
Really?
I get it. I'm less impressed by this. Less impressed.
No, I don't know. She looks like a fucking AI.
What's her real name?
Stacey Ferguson.
Oh, okay. Oh, so she was named after Fergie. Basically.
I think it's just her last name. It's Ferguson.
Her last name.
She has the
I
same
don't know
last
how
name.
the other one's name is Fergie.
Both
It doesn't
Fergies
make
have the
sense.
same last name. I pretty much everybody in Ireland whose name is Ferguson is called Fergie.
Hey, Fergie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
How was that Irish impression? Good or no? What do you
Not
think?
great.
Not great.
You could approve. Okay, so we need to know, how's the fucking meaning transferred?
It's not transferred. That's what he's saying. That's the point. There's no transfer of meaning. But how do you know
That's
that
not
But
what
this
I'm
there
word-
is. There is though. Like for
I wasn't saying
example,
there's no meaning transferred. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that the idea that there's meaning that can exist without words is not.
Yeah,
yeah, no,
that's what he's
I
saying.
realize that that's not true. What I'm wondering
But
is
now
how
Mitchell wants to know,
conditioning.
how do you know that that
Is
word
there
means
either
what that
effective
means?
transfer, which would be technotutor, or there's ineffective transfer, which is there's no TT. There's no
I'm not telling you the
agreed
answer to
upon
that in the
definition.
podcast.
All right, so we got to end the
Want to
podcast, guys.
understand it, read the blogs.
We
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
understand. We gotta. Sorry.
Hey, that one
Do the
blog
research on
too.
Equaf.
The one where Bernard talks about
So
the
500 years later,
only best definition is the one that's mathematically best for all. For every single word to have that meaning, that is the only valid meaning.
right? Because then what would happen? Because there is no separation between the words and reality. So what would happen to reality if your words were best? So you're walking
Reality
around
would
with these
become
dumb
best.
words like, I am Jesus and he's my Lord and Savior. It's like you're walking around with slave words inside of you.
True.
And
True.
then putting all your faith in Q.
Yes, and then not doing anything with your life. Period. Period. Period.
I want to make a sandwich
Okay.
called the LGBTQ.
What does the Q stand for? What?
Queso.
Queso. Oh, okay. All right.
Hugh Shaman. He's gonna make one and go.
All
hang
right.
out.
Lettuce. What's the G?
Guacamole.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Lettuce,
Jess, if you can
guacamole,
hear this is what I want for lunch.
bacon, tomato, queso.
And then what's the plus? Big. It's big. Plus size.
No, that's just when you cut the sandwich.
Oh yeah, I want to cut into plus.
Okay. Yeah. No. I think we should.
That
have
might be the best
would
definition
be
of
great.
LGBTQ plus.
It is for sure. For sure. Everybody, come get your LGBTQ
IA,
plus
is
sandwich.
it IA involved? What's IA? Iced
that's-
tea? No, iced apple juice.
Hey, I gotta. All right. I think we're done here.
Back to you on the IA.
Yeah. Next up, tune in next week for the redefinition of IA.
Yes.
All right. Do we have a title for this one or what?
I thought of a good one.
I don't know if that's the good one.
I think it's a great one. Something with puppets.
All right, we'll figure it out. All right, y'all.
We'll take
go-
requests for titles. We have a suggestion box. It's called the comments.
Yes.
You got to watch Human
Flow
Resources
state, flow
and
state.
understand why we have a suggestion box.
Would you say flow state?
Flow state puppet.
Flow state puppet? We didn't even talk about flow state.
Just saying shit.
Just change. All right, yeah. We'll
right.
see you next week. And anything else? Any closing remarks?
Yeah, let me ramble for another hour.
Okay, all right, we're done.
Come on the next hangout and go to Miami and fucking do your process at the next level and share.
Yeah, get your tickets for the Miami thing. Get them
Yeah.
now.
Running
Yeah.
out, baby. Let's go. Better than the
Alright.
World Economic Forum.
Bye.